We all know that pre-trip anxiety, the pile of clothes on the bed, the fear of forgetting something, the thought of, what if I need this? While I never expected my professional life to teach me anything practical, especially tips and tricks on how to live in life, consulting actually taught me how to pack through the training of traveling on site every single week. The tight schedule of flying out Sunday and flying back on Thursday propelled me to build a system, a way to fit a week of my life into one single carry-on. So today I'm sharing this consultant mindset as I'm packing for my leisure trip to Malaysia. Before diving into any exact how-tos, the first step is always a mental shift. My mom is an overpacker, so I used to think that bringing everything that you can think of for a trip is what you're supposed to be doing. However, when your space is limited to a single carry-on, you're forced to be realistic. And this brings me to the first and most important principle, which is pack for your reality, not your fantasy. So let's say if you're going to a small beach town that doesn't have any Michelin level restaurants, then maybe you can leave the fancy dress at home. And if you're like me, who knows that a full day of walking is going to be the workout of the day, then the gym clothes you bring will probably never be used throughout the trip. The key is to think backwards of what realistically will happen on your trip and plan against that. Before I go on any trip, whether for leisure or for business, I would always check the weather and also the places that I'll be going to. Taking this trip to Malaysia for an example, I know that I'll be walking around in the cities, maybe going up the mountains and also going to the beach side while dealing with the heat in tropical area. Through this assessment, it helps me determine that my essentials would be summer clothes and shoes that's comfortable to walk in. But then, what about all those what ifs? Just like worries will take up your mental space, it's always going to be translated into extra luggage. And this is why consultants embrace two important things, both inside and outside of work, which is outsourcing and imperfection. First of all, you should always use your hotel as your first resource. Unless you have very strong personal preferences, hotels definitely would provide shampoos, hair dryers, water kettles, and steam irons, and some good hotels would even provide electronics like adapters or cables and services like washing machine. The second resource would be your destination. If you really forget something, try to see if you can buy it on the spot in local supermarkets or convenience stores, or simply try to live without it. Once you have all of your must-haves covered in your luggage, it's actually liberating to just let the small things go, and you would actually realize you don't even need it. As you have shifted the mindset up to this point, it should already reduce your luggage to the size that can easily fit into a carry-on. However, if really letting something go is a little bit challenging and difficult, don't force yourself to do so. You can always experiment and try and then optimize in your next trip. So now, once you're ready to pack, these are some of the exact tips and tricks that helps me reduce my actual packing time to less than 30 minutes. The first tip is a capsule wardrobe. This is definitely not a new idea out there, but I think it's really helpful when you're packing for traveling. As for myself, my wardrobe is already a bit leaning towards the capsule style, so it's pretty easy for me to pick out the versatile items that would fit the weather and the activities that I'm going to be doing. So for this trip to Malaysia, I'm bringing 3 tops and 2 bottoms and another full outfit for traveling because it'll be cold in the airport and quite different from the warm weather outside. I usually budget a top to be worn for a full day for warm weathers and then 2 up to 3 bottoms to mix and match with the tops. For shoes, I'm planning to just wear 1 pair of sneakers and possibly packing another flip-flop for the beach. With knowledge of my wardrobe as well as my own preferred style, I just pick out the items that I can think of, mix and match and see if they pair with each other well, and one of the most time-consuming part of packing is done. So the second tip for a time saver is actually to build your essentials kits. Starting from scratch every single time is definitely the biggest time waster, so building these kits is very efficient because you can reuse them every time without having to pack it again. There are essentially 2 kits that just lives in my carry-on the whole time. The first thing is, of course, toiletries. I collect travel size containers and samples, so the bag is pretty much always 80% ready when I need it. I just need to refill as needed every time while I'm packing and put the other 20% of items that I use every single day, like toothbrush or my contact lenses, into the other pouch. The second one is the electronics kit, in which I have an adapter, a versatile charger, and a couple of cables. I do keep a duplicate of cables at home, but it's not a must if you're trying to be conscious of your electric footprint. And the last one is an old but good one, which is modular packing. Ironically, I actually used to think that packing cubes takes up extra space, but never realized that the real problem is that I have too many luggage to pack. Using packing cubes actually makes packing and unpacking easier and much more organized. As you are more and more familiar with the size of your packing cubes, it's easy to just simply gather everything when you put the items into the packs, and then it becomes a puzzle game when you're assembling them into your suitcase. At the final step of packing, I usually stuff my socks and underwear right next to the rails, put my clothes on top, and then put my toiletry and electronics kits on the other side, so that there is always some extra space that is flexible for other things that I might want to bring. Putting all your things into your suitcase takes less than 5 minutes, and that's it. The whole process from planning to actually zip in your bag takes less than 30 minutes, and it can take even less if you front load a bit more of your planning and your research. This consultant mindset is not just about saving time, it's also about not reinventing the wheels every time and maximize efficiency while customizing to your own needs. While you save on your checked luggage fee, you also save all the mental energy of planning and worrying that gives you a feeling of lightness and control before every single trip. So I really hope that this video is going to bring you some insights into packing for your upcoming trip. I'll try to link as much items as I can in the description box for your reference. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I think I'll see you next time. Bye!